the thing is, I suppose, that you've always said, Greg Dyke, that the problem is News International's too powerful in this country.
Oh, it is.
And the fact is, News International, yes, the Murdochs are on the defensive, but is still very powerful in this country.
No, it's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone. It went last week sometime. It went when you saw the Murdoch. Never again are we going to have to be lectured by the Murdochs, the Murdoch family, on what we should have in the media in this country. It's gone. Honestly, it went yesterday. It went because the politicians, leading politicians, will no longer be comfortable having the sort of relationships they've had with these people in the past. It's a sea change.
And Chris Boothman, you've been following very closely the relationship between News International and the police. We've had two very senior policemen, including the Commissioner of the Met, resign. But, you know, the fact remains there that it's not entirely clear that the police have the resources and or the commitment to follow through on this truth-telling that is now supposed to happen. Do you believe they do?
I think what's required is a lot more than has been announced in terms of the various inquiries. I mean, I actually think that the issue with the police service is partly to do with the accountability model that we've got at the moment, which is quite old, which the government are proposing to change, and they're saying that we're going to have a tougher system when, in fact, if you look at the detail, police will have even more autonomy than they've had in the past.
On this question of accountability and transparency, knowing what the police are actually up to, and did you have any idea before it became public knowledge in the last few days that senior police officers, the very top of the Met, had been lunching and dining and socially consorting with top figures at News International for years? It's
emerged over the last few weeks, really, when questions have been asked. But
shouldn't you have been asking questions long before?
The problem with the current model is that we have limited powers to find out what's going on, and generally we only find out after the event. I mean, there is a need for a modern framework for police accountability that, for instance, might include a judge supervising serious investigations, because at the heart of this issue...
You mean ongoing investigation?
Absolutely.
It's going to entirely change the way the police do their work.
Absolutely. And at the heart of this issue is an issue about the conduct of investigations, which, if you look back, you'll see the Stephen Lawrence inquiry, the Levi Belfield investigation. There are a number of high-profile investigations that have not gone the way they should have gone. And
well, it's a fascinating idea. I can see many problems with it. I wonder if you can, Jacqui Smith, former Home Secretary.
I can see, I mean, it's a sort of investigating magistrate type model similar to that they have in France, where I'm not sure that has necessarily meant that every investigation is more effective than it is here. I mean, I would certainly agree with Chris that there are some high-profile investigations that haven't gone right. I think the interesting point about the accountability model is that, of course, everywhere else apart from in London, the proposal is to introduce a directly elected politician to hold the police chief to account. Now, you know, I'm sceptical about that model, but actually I think it is in even more trouble now after what's happened in the last few weeks than it was previously. You know, the House of Lords, our House of Lords, had asked the government to think again about that model. I think they'll feel that their hand has been strengthened.